Namaskar, hello, and welcome to My Truth Crystal Clear. I'm Reeta Goud, and you are watching our third episode. In previous two episodes, we discussed about a thought-provoking topics, Dalai Lama and Operation Sindoor. This time, we are continuing our journey, digging deeper into the truth and clarity. Today, we are going to talk about the Nepal, a very thought-provoking topic. And to talk about this topic or talk about the Nepal, we have the expert with us, Mr. Surya Parida.
Yes.
Let's begin with the basics. For our viewers and listeners, could you please walk us through the Nepal's history?
Thank you. It's been a great doing these episodes with you. Nepal is a very interesting topic and a very interesting country. Nepal was the only Hindu kingdom where Hinduism flourished because it is a landlocked country. On its north is the Tibetan Autonomous Region, and the west, south, and east is India. It is very close to Bangladesh, but separated by your chicken neck Siliguri corridor. The king of Nepal was considered to be the reincarnation of Lord Vishnu, like our Puri king. Okay, so it has got a lot of similarities between the Indian culture. This word Nepal exists from the pre-Vedic periods. In our Vedas also the word Nepal is there, which means that since the flourishing of Hinduism in India, Nepal existed. So it is as old as India. It is, as I said, it is multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multicultural, and multilingual, because Nepal you can broadly divide into three parts. The top part, northern part, which is hill area, which has got more ethnically very close to Tibetans, tribals. Then the valley of Kathmandu, which has got Indo-Aryan origin people. And then the Tarai belt, which is closer to borders of India, of UP, Bihar. They are called as Nepalis of Indian origin, because they all are basically Indians who have settled in those Tarai regions. They are called in Nepal, they are called as Madhesis. Madhesis. They are the Nepalese of Indian origin. So we have a three distinct race of people in Nepal: the Tibetan origin people, or the tribal people having affiliation to Tibetan race. Then you have got Indo-Aryans in the valley, the Kathmandu valley, and in the Tarai region you have Nepalese of Indian origin. You know, very interesting. It has got so much similarity in India, Hinduism, and Sanskrit. The modern day Nepal's motto is a Sanskrit verse which says Janani Janmabhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. It's a Sanskrit word, the Sanskrit sentence, which means mother and the motherland is greater than heaven. So what I mean to say, like we have got a Satyamev Jayate, they have got this saying as their motto. So this proves the similarity and the affinity towards our language, culture, Hinduism, everything. And Nepal is also, apart from Hinduism, Buddhism has originated from Nepal. In the sense that Lord Buddha was born in Nepal, in the place called Lumbini, in the first millennium. And although he did not become Buddhist in Nepal, he became Buddhist in India. But the origin he is originating from, he is originated from Nepal. And Buddhism has gone, after Buddha became Buddhist and he's found this Buddhism, then Buddhism went to Nepal. And from Nepal, it has gone to Tibet and other East Asian countries. So Nepal has been instrumental in spreading of Buddhism also. Therefore, because Tibet has gone for Buddhism, therefore the top portion, the hill portion of Nepal also has a lot of Buddhist origin people. Okay. Then we have got an Indo-Gangetic plain, that Tarai belt, and where there is more of Hinduism. Now coming to the oldest dynasty of Nepal is called Gopal Vansa. Gopal Vansa is, as far as the recorded history says, the oldest dynasty was Gopal Vansa, which was ruling in the central kingdom of Nepal, that is the Kathmandu valley in that area. After Gopal Vansa came the Kirat dynasty. You will be, this may sound familiar to all Indians. Kirath dynasty is the dynasty. The king Kirath is the same king who fought with the Kauravas in the battle of Kurukshetra, and which is in the Mahabharata, recorded in the Mahabharata. Kirath. So Kiraths were again were ruling after the Gopal Vansha. Another popular king or dynasty was Janakpuri. Okay, so Janakpuri was up to Mithila, the capital, and it was the capital of Mithila. And today Mithila is in present day Bihar. And Janakpuri is well known because our mother Sita was born in Janakpuri to this king Janak. So you see, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all have got traces to Nepal. During 11th century, another very powerful dynasty came up in Nepal called as a Khas dynasty. Khas. And they were very powerful and went up to the western Nepal, and the Uttarakhand had become a part of the Nepal during those days. And also they had gone up to Tibet. So Tibet, the central valley, the Tarai, and Dehradun, and the Uttarakhand during the Khas dynasty was a part of Nepal. Then after this Khas dynasty came a very powerful king called Mallas. So Mallas ruled this empire in the 14th century. And Mallas were pro-Hinduism, and not only Hinduism, they brought Hinduism and flourished Hinduism in Nepal, but also they were instrumental in spreading Sanskrit in the entire region of Nepal, amongst all. Those were tribals, non-tribals, Indo-Aryans, people of Indian origin, everyone. So Sanskrit had become very popular in Nepal during the Mallas. During Malla dynasty also, they had gone up to Tibet, a place called Sigatse in Tibet. They had gone up to that Sigatse, and also they had gone down up to Gaya. So from Gaya to Tibet Sigatse, from Uttarakhand to almost till Bangladesh or to Siliguri corridor, this was the kingdom of Nepal during Mallas dynasty. During Mallas region, art and architecture developed quite a lot in Kathmandu. You see those nice temples which have come up in Nepal. Most of them had come up during the Malla dynasty. So Mallas were very instrumental in modernizing Nepal. And Mallas had divided the whole into 4 major parts, but they had around 22 states. So amongst these 22, one state had become very powerful called Gorkha state. And this state slowly became very powerful, and by the time 18th century, Gorkhas became the ruling dynasty of Nepal. Another interesting thing which I want to inform is that while Malla dynasty was flourishing in Nepal, Mughals came to India. Okay, so what I want to say from here is that while Mughals came to India, the culture of India was undergoing a lot of change. Hinduism and Islamization of the place was also taking place. Because of this, lot of high caste Hindus, they migrated to Nepal. So there was a lot of exodus of Hindus from India to Nepal during the Mughal period. So while during the Mughal period, the only living Hindu kingdom was Nepal. As I said, during the time in Nepal, Gorkha state became a very powerful kingdom, and these Gorkhas formed the modern day Nepal. Gorkhas became popular because they were very principled, they followed law, they followed justice, and therefore slowly Gorkhas became a very popular dynasty and became the conqueror of entire Nepal. The famous Gorkha king is Prithvi Naran Shah. Prithvi Naran Shah is the architect of modern Nepal. He also became a quite strong ruler, and his empire from Sigatse in Tibet, Uttarakhand, and up to Gaya, and Sikkim also. He also annexed Sikkim into the fold of Nepal. It became a very big territory. It seems it said that once upon a time Nepal was from Ganga to Tista. Okay, so during various rulers, they were acquiring land and expanding their kingdom. Now, because of this expansion and going up to Sigatse in Tibet, during the Qing dynasty, the China and Tibet they fought against Nepal, and so Nepal had to withdraw from the higher mountains, and they came to lower mountains. So that became the boundary of Tibet and Nepal. After that, because these people had gone up to down up to Gaya and here up to Sikkim, then the East India Company went for a war with Nepal. That is called as Anglo-Nepalese War. It was during the Anglo-Nepalese War the Britishers saw the ferocity and the courage of the Gurkha soldiers. Although they defeated the Nepalese, but they realized that this is a good warrior community. And from that day onwards, Gurkhas are in the services of the Indian Army. They are also in the British Army. Till date, British Army and Indian Army has a Gurkha unit because of this legacy. So this is how the Nepal got its present boundary, which is from Uttarakhand that side going up to Darjeeling border this side, Tibet on top, and down Tarai regions bordering UP and Bihar. So this is the present day Nepal, and Prithvi Narayan Shah is the modern architect of the modern Nepal.
Oh, this is such a deep history that Nepal is having. The way that you explained it was very much informative and engaging also. Now, this reminds me something about the history of Nepal, where it is talking about the Rana's dynasty. So,
Yeah.
who were exactly the Rana dynasty, and how did they change the politics of Nepal?
This is also a very good question. The Ranas are Kshatris. This Rana dynasty, they came because there was a lot of faction. Slowly, there were a lot of faction within the royal family, and they're getting weaker. That is the time there's a person called Jang Bahadur Rana. He massacred the existing prime minister and the ministers and the government officials of the king, and took over the reins of the administration there. Jang Bahadur Rana became the prime minister of the country, and he made the king a titular head. He said, you're a symbolic head, it will be run by us. And they made their position hereditary. So prime minister's son will become prime minister, minister's son will become minister, their administrator's son will become administrator. So it was going, the Rana dynasty was ruling the entire Nepal from this royal family's time till say around the 1950s. The Ranas, because of the absolute power, they became corrupt. They became, they're amassing wealth to themselves, not ruling properly. And so their popularity was slowly going down. And this continued up to till India got its independence.
As you said, Rana dynasty began losing its popularity. How were they overthrown, and how did they again establish the monarchy in Nepal or restore the monarchy in Nepal?
See, as I said, the Rana dynasty, because of a lot of power with them, they became autocrats. Their rule was very filled with tyranny, their debates, and full of corruption, nepotism. And as their posts were hereditary, they were not accountable to the society at large. The king, being a titular head, could not do anything. So they were not only they lost their popularity, and they were not been respected, and the people didn't like them. And so there's growing discontent amongst the people of Nepal. And you see, by 1940s, the freedom of India, freedom movement in India was growing very strong, and our Prime Minister Nehru helped the then King Tribhuvan to start the process of democracy in Nepal. He advised him rather to start the political process, let them grow, let them become strong. Then only we can overthrow this Rana dynasty. So he allowed the political parties to form. Nepali Congress was the major party, their political party, and with the help of India and the help of the ruler King Tribhuvan, the Rana dynasty was overthrown. Mainly, India was instrumental in getting rid of the Rana dynasty. So, and once the Rana dynasty got overthrown, King Tribhuvan converted his country to monarchy republic.
Monarchy Republic.
So he was the head of the country, but there was a government, democratic government. So that is how, from 1940 onwards, say 47, 48, or 50s, the republic government, democratic government came into being in Nepal. Once the Rana dynasty got overthrown and the king formed monarchy republic, a democratic republic was formed, and he nominated Matrika Prasad Koirala, a Nepali Congress leader, as the first prime minister of the country. Later on, the elections were held, and when the elections were held in 1959, first general elections were held in 1959 in Nepal. Vishweswar Prasad Koirala became the first elected prime minister of the country. Vishweswar Prasad Koirala became the first elected prime minister of Nepal after the first general election of Nepal held in the year 1959. He also is a Congress leader, Nepali Congress leader. Okay, this democratic republic continued up to the next king, King Mahendra. King Mahendra ruled Nepal from 1955 to 1972. Okay, but he somehow was not happy with this republic, this democratic republic, and he abandoned the system, and he went for Panchayati Raj, non-party, non-political, partyless Panchayati Raj. The development in Panchayat system was good because it was directly under the control of the king, but they were not popular because they curtailed liberties of the people. In democracy, you have liberties, so when there is no liberties, freedom is not there, the people are not happy, and there was a lot of resentment. And this was one of the reasons why Panchayati Raj also was losing its popularity and influence over the people in Nepal.
If Panchayati Raj, you said, so it's abolished, then how did this democracy again came?
After King Mahendra, his son King Birendra took over as the king of Nepal. King Birendra ruled from 1972 to 2001. King Birendra realized that the Panchayati Raj system is not going good for the people. They are losing their popularity. So he abolished this Panchayati Raj and he again brought in democracy, monarchy democracy again. Okay. So when he brought in monarchy democracy and conducted election, Girija Prasad Koirala of the Congress, Nepali Congress, became the prime minister of the country. This is how, again, what had happened in King Tribhuvan's time again happened after the coming of King Birendra. So Girija Prasad Koirala, around 1990s, he became the prime minister of Nepal. In the from 96, 97, late 90s, there was a movement of communism in Nepal. It was started by a person called Pushpa Kumar Dahal, popularly called as Prachanda. He is a student of Banaras Hindu University. He used to study in Banaras Hindu University, and he started this movement of communism. Rather Maoist, King Birendra and his whole family was killed by his own son, the Crown Prince, and then later on Crown Prince also killed himself. So the entire clan got wiped out in 2001 Palace Massacre. After this, his brother, King Gyanendra, he took over as the king, and he abolished this governments, the democracy, and he took over all the powers of the country. just to put this Maowadi under control. But that couldn't take place. He failed to control this uprising, and it so happened that finally the communism movement was so strong that not only they came to power, but also King Gyanendra had to relinquish his position as a king of Nepal. So with King Gyanendra, monarchy got wiped out from Nepal. So now there is no monarchy. So, so this happened in something around 2001, I think so. 2001, 2001, the massacre took place. I think by 2008, 7, 8, the Maowadis came to power. He became the prime minister of this thing. And then they formed a constitution which came into being in 2015. And after that, there have been elections. And but you know, in the last 10 years, it so happened that there have been 14 governments in Nepal. So the famous personalities who are always in power by rotation are this Dahal, Prachanda. Then he is of Maoist party, communist. Then this KP Oli, he is also from, he is also communist, but he is called United Maoist Leninist. And there is one Nepali Congress. Nepali Congress, Duba is the leader. He became prime minister. Then Prachanda becomes prime minister. Oli became fourth time. This was his fourth time as a prime minister. So in the last 10 years or 10, 12 years, there have been 14 regime changes, and they're just playing musical chairs. So because these people started getting fed up, it has become so bad in Nepal that there is a lot of migration from Nepal to outside countries. There's no job there, no development, so people migrate. It seems the only thing which is easily available in Nepal is the passport. So you apply for a passport, the government gives you immediately, because they feel that the moment the people go away, there will be no resentment here, because these are the people who are resenting. So that is how the culture of Nepal has come to. On 20th May 2008, the monarchy got over, and Nepal became a democratic, federal, secular republic. Why I'm telling these words is that on 20th May 2008, Nepal ceased to be a Hindu kingdom. It was no more a Hindu kingdom. So today, we don't have any Hindu kingdom in the world.
Coming to the present days, massive number of students came on the road, streets. So what triggered them?
As I was saying, because of this musical chair of the government taking place, what happened? There was no governance. They're all interested in ruling the country, occupying the post of prime minister. And so happened that all the government functionaries everywhere, the relatives and their cronies were ruling everywhere in the government. Nothing came to the public. So it was almost like the Rana dynasty, where everything was owned by the Ranas. Here everything was owned by these three political parties, and they were growing, and their lifestyle, their children's lifestyle was so so wealthy lifestyle they were leading, that it became an eyesore. And these kids were being called as Nepo kids.
Nepo kids.
Nepo kids means nepotism kids. So this resentment amongst the youth was growing like anything, that we are not getting anything for our job, where to migrate, where to go outside, and nothing is happening in this country. Their unemployment was around 30%. Unemployment was going on only, and the whole GDP was only because of the remittances from these people who are migrated to the countries. 1/3 of the GDP was because of the remittances from the migrants from this country. So this was the condition of this thing. Then what happened? This Oli became anti-India. He was pro-China. He suddenly declared that Lipu Lake, Kalapani, and another area, these three areas, they do not belong to Nepal. They do not belong to India. And he made a map where he was showing those areas as part of the Nepal. So there was a animosity between Nepal and India also. So India also was not able to support and get involved in the development of the country. There was a massive earthquake in April 2015. More than 8,000 people died, and India although gave a lot of assistance. There, one leader developed. His name is Sundar Gurung. Sundar Gurung. Sundar Gurung formed a NGO called Hami Nepal. Hami Nepal. He asked people for donating rice and shelters and everything for rehabilitating the people, and it became very strong and very popular NGO, and they were able to bring in a lot of rescue operations in Nepal. So he has become quite a promising and growing leader. Recently, one rapper who's an engineering student, Balen Shah, became very popular because of his music, and then slowly he turned himself into a political movement, and his music started singing songs about the corruption going on in the government, the nepotism in the government, all that. So the young people liked it. He became a big mass leader there, and also he took part in politics, elections, and he has become the mayor of Kathmandu. So three leaders, as I said, one is Sundar Gurung, Balen Shah, and another, he was prime minister for a very brief period from December 22 to January 23, Rabi Lamichhene. He was in exile, and during this uprising, the people went and opened all the jails, and he's got released. He's also got massive support. His party is Rashtriya Swatantra Party. So these three people are out, and maybe they may play a role in the future politics of the country. So this is the thing. And as you asked, why this uprising took place? So these people, these Sundar Gurung and Balen Shah, and all these people were telling to public how we're being fooled by our governments who are not doing anything for us. They are amassing wealth for themselves, their families, their friends, their cronies, and this was creating a lot of resentment amongst the public. And what happened? This young mass, the Gen Z, what we call them, they were using social media for writing all their grievances, all their tales of deprivation and everything, and this is all hitting the government.
Yeah, all the stories about these
politicians and government.
Yeah, floating.
So that was creating more anger. And this Prime Minister KP Oli, he thought that this, because social media, they're into getting defamed. So one fine day, he banned all the
social media.
The moment social media was banned, and this leaders, Balen Shah and this Gurung and all, they asked their followers to protest. And this was to the students, not to any leaders and the students. And you will be surprised to know that there was immediately sporadic movement of these students took place, and they all came to Kathmandu Valley, the government offices near government areas, and they were protesting against the banning of the social media. There's nothing, students, what more they can say. But this Prime Minister, it seems he ordered firing.
Yeah, and it was not just to kill the life of the students.
And so many 1920 people died, and maximum were students. This again didn't go well, and the next day there was massive uprising, and who were all involved is not known. But then they were looting, arson, and burning of buildings. They burnt parliament. They burnt President's Palace. They burnt their secretariat, and even the Hilton Hotel, 12 floors hotel also was burnt. So a lot of burning and looting was taking place. During this moment, then army saw that there is no law and order. So army said that we will take care of the security of the country, and they came. After army came and took over the law and order, the country has come to peace. There is stability now, and this has given the president Paudel. He and with the support of the army, they called upon all the Gen Z leaders and said, okay, what has happened, now let us bring in peace and let us find out. Oli had to resign. He resigned. Oli resigned, the Home Minister resigned, and there's so much violence that the ministers were dragged from the houses, beaten. One of the Prime Ministers, some wife died in a fire. So a lot of things happened, which is there in the media. I don't want to go into that. That before the social media was banned, a school-going girl of 11 years or 12 years old in Lalitpur area, she was going to her school. Then one vehicle came in his the one minister from Kosi region. He hit that girl. That girl was thrown away and lying injured. But this minister or no one came down from the car, did not rescue the girl, and they fled away. This scene was it became viral amongst everyone's phone in the Gen Z, and after that the social media ban came up. So there was this fire that how these people are behaving, they're treating us like cattle. There's so much anger, and this made it very successful movement of the students in Nepal. Well, they did not. This one good thing that they did not touch the president. Although there is rumor that president has also resigned, but that was not correct. But they had burnt the president palace. They went to president palace, and there was a fire there also. But they didn't touch president. So that is why there is some amount of system existing, and president is playing a key role in bringing in peace and stability to the country. Army being very professional army, they did not exploit this situation to take over the country, like Bangladesh also. One thing I want to tell about Nepal Army is as professional as Indian Army. And you'll be surprised to know that Nepal Army's chief becomes the honorary general of Indian Army. Indian Army chief becomes the honorary general of the Nepal Army. That is the goodwill and friendship relation we have with these two armies. Very professional army. And they're maximum trained in the officers are trained in India only, NDA, IMA, and they go from here only. So those solid ethos are there. So Nepalese army was helping the president, and they called all the Gen Z people. And although amongst Gen Z also there was no unanimity because there was no leader of theirs.
Right.
It's a faceless movement. There's no leader. It was anger amongst themselves erupted, and they went and did this. So there was no one leading them. It was themselves they were leading. So when they were asked who burned the palace, who did this, we do not know. We are not involved. We just came to protest that why are banning a social media. And social media was restored by the PM only the next day before he resigned. So once that was restored, their anger subsided. So the main thing is that who created the second day violence? That is not known. But definitely not the students. Definitely not the students. Students, they were in the school uniforms with school bags. They do not have the idea of burning. For burning something, you need explosives, you need fire, you need petrol, diesel. Students can't do that.
Absolutely.
So there's some other this thing which group which has done it, and who is the leader of theirs also is not known. So, but anyway, the damage has taken place, and somehow they, amongst all these leaders, they selected Mrs. Sushila Karki, who is also a student of Banaras Hindu University. And she was the former Chief Justice of Nepal. She was selected amongst there was a consensus, although it was difficult to bring in consensus among this Gen Z, but then they agreed. So she has taken over as the interim Prime Minister with the promise that she will bring in election within 6 months. Now, they still have the parliament, because parliament is not dissolved. So the parliamentarians are still there. But how will she function? She will function with these parliamentarians, and she will function on her own, or the president will dissolve the parliament, which not know, which will come to know.
Nobody knows.
But within 6 months' time, she will bring in election. That's what she says. So when the elections take place, we do not know again who will fight for the elections. Again, this Oli will come back, Duba will come back, or this Prachanda will come back, or these Gen Z people that Sundar Gurung or Balen Shah or this Rabi Lamichene, they will come and lead. Is a thing which you have to see in the future. China will definitely want someone who is pro-China in the government. They will not support monarchy to come back. They will not support these young Gen Z or young leaders like Gurung and Galen Shah and Balen Shah to come to power. So they will try to see that someone of their Communist Party comes to power. India wants, I feel, the monarchy should come back. Because two things, if monarchy comes back, Hinduism comes back. So India would like to have monarchy, democratic republic, and India would like to have some party which is pro-India. There is already a growing feeling in Nepal that monarchy was better than democracy. There's always a lot of people are saying, why not we go back to monarchy? Because people of Nepal revere king as the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. When King Birendra was killed, lot of Nepalese they shaved their head.
Oh,
That is the type of respect they have.
thank you, Mr. Parida, for breaking down such a complex issue into such a clarity. Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar.